course, leadership, that's a huge one. Even if you weren't necessarily a supervisor, right? Let's say you were an FTO, a field training officer, and you trained and mentored younger rookie officers. That's a leadership skill. We don't really use the term project management in law enforcement or the military as much. But if you're working with a rookie to try to get him or her to a certain point, which is probably getting him or her to be solo officer, you were a project manager. So a lot of the skill sets they're looking for project managers, you actually have just by taking on that leadership role. Team management, similar. Communication is a big one. This younger generation right now, especially I'm a millennial, but the millennials and the Gen Zers are even worse. They can't talk worth a crap. They're so used to living on their phones, living behind their devices, that having a straight up conversation like we are now, it's impossible for them. They really struggle with that. So having someone who has been in really tricky situations, really crisis situations, really, and be able to communicate through them is an amazing skill that not many people in the private sector can claim that they have. And that's something that's going to set you apart. Of course, you know about law enforcement procedures, interviewing, interrogation, surveillance, report writing, courtroom testimony. All those things are things that you gained over, 20, 30 years in law enforcement. Training and mentoring, like I mentioned before, a really big one. Problem solving. There's, again, not a lot of people in the private sector can think as quickly on their feet as a cop can or as a military veteran. Oftentimes we're thrown into some serious cases and we're the only ones there, have to figure out a situation that could be life or death. And being able to think calmly and make a decision in those quick and serious situations is pretty unique to what we can do as law enforcement officers and veterans as well. And then you also want to highlight everything else that you've done.